Well, get ready to shake those tail feathers because it is National Bird Day. And of course, we called our friends over at the Denver Audubon to come help us celebrate such a cool day. And Megan Schultz is the Audubon Center naturalist, is here to share some wisdom on our feathery friends. Hey, Megan, how are you?
Good, how are you? Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I've always said birds to me are so fascinating because I'm a singer and I sing. So you can connect with birds through singing, believe it or not. And it's the coolest thing ever. All right, before we get into more birds, though, I want everyone to know about the Audubon Club and what you guys do every single day.
Yeah, so Denver Audubon is a nonprofit, and we're circled around birds, so education, conservation, and research is what we do.
And again, we live in a state where there's so much to see, and if you guys get in touch with the Denver Audubon, it's amazing how much you can learn. Now, as we mentioned, today is National Bird Day. Is winter a good time to look for birds and to go bird watching?
Absolutely. All the time is a good time to look for birds. Winter is especially a good time since we get some of our year-long migrants here. So if you're a beginning birder, you can start to learn all of our easier ones during the winter.
Okay, and that's so good to know because I would have just thought when it's super cold that birds typically wouldn't be out, but that is definitely not the case. Well, look, I was at the airport the other day and there was a little bird at my gate, a tiny little bird running around. I mean, it was like fearing the holiday rush. There were crazy humans everywhere. How does that happen?
Well, sometimes birds can get in through the tops of the DIA, or they're looking for food if we leave food out. So they can get in looking for some tasty treats, unfortunately.
Oh, he was adorable. Okay, so this time of year, where's the best place to find birds for somebody who's maybe going out for the first time?
Yeah, the amazing thing about birds is that they're everywhere. So you can watch them in your backyard to one of our amazing national parks in Colorado. So they're fantastic.
Yeah, it is. And so what are the most common birds that people will see this time of year right here in the state?
So in winter, I like to do all of our feeder birds. So your finches, your jays, nuthatches are adorable. And you can even get some woodpeckers to come to your backyard at the feeders.
Really? Yeah. Okay, now I see, I'm already getting excited. When I start to shift in my seat, I'm getting excited. Are there rare birds that migrate to Colorado during those winter months too?
Yeah, one of our unusual ones that we've been seeing a lot more now is the Bohemian waxwing. I like to call them the Gucci of birds because look at just how artistry and beautiful they are. They have that stunning little mohawk on them, and then what's different from them in the cedar waxwing is that rusty bottom, and they also have some white coloration on their feathers.
Oh my goodness, some ones right there. And so these are some of the rare birds that you could potentially see right here in Colorado. And then we've got, you know, there's people who don't feel like exploring out in the cold, but there are some ways to get some birds to come to the backyard. How on earth can we do that?
Absolutely, you can always put up feeders and also baths for them, but what we really like to push is planting native plants in your garden. So you can put any shrubs and trees which will have food and protection for them year long, and it'll be beautiful for you and for the animals.
Okay, good advice. Now I've also heard that cutting plastic is a good idea because some birds could get stuck in plastic. What is your take on that, and what other advice do you have to help these birds?
Yeah, so my major two things to help birds are keep your cats indoors, because cats actually kill 2.6 billion birds every year. And the second thing is make sure you're watching out for window strikes. Window strikes kill around 1 billion birds every single year. So if you have one that's repeatedly hitting your window, get some reflective tape or mural that you can put up so they don't see their reflection anymore.
Oh, wow. So those are very interesting takes and that we usually don't think about, but good advice. Now, talk to me about the friends that you've brought in studio today.
So this is Mr. Hoots. He is one of our owls. He's a great horned owl. And then this is one of our grouses down here. He's a game bird. So I thought they'd be cute to bring in.
Both very handsome and serious, if you will. Okay, well, for people wanting to learn more about Denver Audubon, what programs do you have coming up? Maybe somebody who wants to explore for the first time.
Yes, so we have some Birding Insights programs, which are our adult workshops. Actually, one this weekend is called Wooed for Woodpeckers, which will be on Saturday, and then we'll also have some kids and homeschool classes coming up soon, so check out our website.
How does it work when you've got kiddos?
I love having the kids. We can take them outdoors. We have some bird props that we can bring in, and even sometimes we get some live birds to come in to talk with the kids about conservation.
Oh, how fun is that? So definitely going to be family friendly, and you've got events coming up too for the entire family.
Yes.
Okay, I got to ask you, any birds you have seen this winter?
Ooh, Ooh, I've seen so many birds this winter. I've been in love with the blue jays, so just because of their beautiful coloration, they're also a mocking type of bird, so they can mimic calls from other birds, which I think is kind of funny.
That is funny. Well, my mom had a parrot for so many years. He was very rude and said a lot of bad words, but you were just telling me how long they live.
Yes.
So we may inherit a parrot. However, he was unfortunately stolen, and we don't know who took him, but it broke my mom's heart.
Poor
So
thing.
if you love birds, Denver Audubon is a great way to connect with those birds. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thanks for having
and
me.
happy National Bird Day.
Woohoo.
Congrats on your day and your day. Okay, everyone, get out and go do some bird watching to celebrate National Bird Day today. You can also register for some of those interesting programs coming up at the Denver Audubon. Just go to the website. It's denveraudubon.org/events.